Brett Cotter with Stress Is Gone, and I wanted to post a video today about anxiety, and more importantly, a way that we could release it from our body. Right now I feel, given the coronavirus pandemic, anxiety and panic is public enemy number one. So last night, anxiety and stress and this whole coronavirus thing hit really close to home. So a person in our family got tested yesterday, so we should find out what the story is there either later on today or tomorrow. And then another person is having classic symptoms and they're trying to get tested, and they're having some trouble getting tested, but they're hoping to get tested in the next day or so. So if it does come back that in fact they do have it, then most likely most people in my family will have it. And last night when I was trying to go to sleep, the anxiety was really strong, so I took it as an opportunity to put some of these techniques to test. And they worked, so I want to share them with you. My goal here is to guide you through an experience where if you're watching this video and you have a lot of anxiety, you're going to be able to release it by the end of the video. However, full disclosure, I have a disclaimer, right? So in order to unlock and release anxiety, especially the anxiety that's coming up right now with the coronavirus, it's such core and visceral reactions within our body, we actually have to face our biggest fears, right? So I guide you through that in a safe way, and it's basically the same thing I did last night. And as we're going through the exercise, if you choose to do it, I want you to look at your biggest fears in a way that a mechanic would look at a motor, right? When a mechanic looks at the motor, they pop open the hood and they find out the carburetor needs a cleaning. They don't freak out like, oh my God, the carburetor needs a cleaning. It's not like that. They just say, okay, I'm glad I found that the carburetor had the issue. I'm going to take it apart, clean it, put it back together, and the car's going to run. Or if you're weeding your garden, right? When you find another weed, you're not shocked and panicked about the weed being there. What do? You dig down deep, get to the roots, and slowly, gently pull it up so you get the whole thing out. So that's what we do with anxiety, okay? So if you're willing to go through that process in this video, then continue watching. This video is just for people that are going through a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety right now, and it feels like it's out of their control. And if that's not you, I would just shut the video off and forward it over to somebody that is in that situation. So if you have a couple of minutes right now, we could do the technique, or you could just pause the video and come back later when you have time and space. So last night, for me, what I did when I couldn't get to sleep and I felt the anxiety right here around my heart and the bottom part of my heart, it was really strong, it was really tense. I went through my biggest fears. So I said, what's my biggest fear, right? So my biggest fear that popped into my head is losing my son, right? And I understand that this is a time of high anxiety, and that even thinking of that could be you might be able to feel out of control. But what I want you to do is view your anxiety like a mechanic is viewing a motor, or like a gardener is viewing their garden. Okay, so we're pulling the weeds out. So my biggest fear, losing my son, right? So when I said that, I'm really afraid of losing my son, I felt some of the anxiety start to come up. So some of the tension started to peel back and release. Just by giving a voice to my biggest fear, it starts to release from the cells, okay? When we hold it all in and we don't talk about it, and we're not talking about the thing we're really afraid of, that's when the tension builds and festers and gets worse, okay? And causes disease and beats up on our immune system, which is what we're avoiding right now by doing this exercise. So the next fear, right, was losing our girls, right? All right. And then I felt some more tension unlock and release. And then the next was my wife, right? And I just went through each member of the family, right? My mother, my brother, nieces, nephews. And then it was interesting. I got to my father, and a lot of tension came up and a lot of anxiety came up from my heart and my chest. And my father passed away around 5 years ago, about 5.5 years ago. And part of my body still has not processed him passing. So I do have a lot of anxiety still around that and losing him, right? So I want you to start to see the anxiety picture. It's not just the coronavirus. It is what the coronavirus on the news and all the fear is triggering within us, right? So I went through all my family members, and the anxiety is, becoming conscious. I'm becoming conscious of it, and it's starting to unlock and start to release and feeling it. But then I go through everybody, and there's still a tension there, an underlying tension. It was very deep. I said, okay, what's this about? I said, okay, I'm afraid to lose everything. So I'm afraid to lose everything, right? Everything I've ever worked for, everything I've ever attained, all my relationships, everything, right? And for a lot of people, underneath all this is going to be a fear of death. And I've done years of work on facing my fear of death, and I don't have that too much. But a lot of people underneath this coronavirus, fear that it's triggering is going to be your fear of death. So I want you to go through the exercise now with me, all right? If you're ready, I'm going to bring you through a guided exercise that's going to bring up the anxiety, and then we're going to unlock it and release it. So start clicking through your biggest fears of people you're afraid to lose, period, right? It could be to this virus, or it could be to anything. The people you hold closest to your heart. So it could be your spouse, your children, your parents, your siblings. Start clicking through it and just say, I'm really afraid to lose, you fill in the blank. And you could pause the video here, and if you want to run through a number of people, that's fine. As you're doing this, I want you to be breathing deep and slow, and imagine that you're introducing your anxiety and the tension to your breath. So as you're saying this, I'm afraid to lose this person, I'm afraid to lose that person, I'm afraid to lose everything, I'm afraid to die, I'm afraid of the unknown, I'm afraid of not knowing what's going to happen, I'm afraid of dying alone, I'm afraid other people are going to die alone. As you're doing all that, I want you to breathe deeper and slower and start to introduce your breath to the tension, to the anxiety, deep inside your chest, inside your stomach, wherever it is, in your solar plexus. Just imagine the airflow going there, moving through the tension as you're saying these things. Just like a breeze. Imagine your breath is like a soft breeze, moving in and out of your body, unlocking and releasing the anxiety and the tension, breathing a little deeper and a little slower. Feeling the anxiety as it unlocks and releases from your body. Allowing the breath to just take it away from your chest. Focusing your mind on breathing even deeper and even slower. Allowing the life force that you're breathing in and out to gently move through the anxiety and all the tension. Allowing your breath to move through any sadness, all that fear of loss. Allowing your breath to move through all of it and throughout your heart like a sweet summer breeze. Nice and easy, deep and slow, silky smooth breaths. Putting all that panic and anxiety to rest. And just use your mind and imagine the airflow going even deeper as you breathe even slower. Feel it start to unlock and release deeper tension, moving throughout your body, circulating, automatically going to any areas where you're holding on. And now you could just say, God, I'm so afraid of the unknown. It's so scary, all the things my eyes are seeing. What's going to happen to my family? What's going to happen to me? Just allowing yourself to voice those fears, embracing the emotions underneath it with the life force in your breath. Introducing all those old emotions to the life force inside each one of your silky smooth breaths. Breathing a little deeper and a little slower. Imagining all the fears just unwinding from your body, fully releasing from your cells. And if you want, you could pause the video now. Put one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart and lay down, breathing deep and slow, and silently once per breath saying, I'm okay, in the back of your mind. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Allowing those words to repattern the emotions in your cells, releasing the fear and the panic and the anxiety to a place where you're free. Now, take a few minutes, continue breathing deep and slow, and all that space that the anxiety and the fear and the stress was, I want you to call in exactly what you want. I want to feel safe. I want to feel cared for. I want to know my loved ones are cared for. This is a good mantra to say as you're breathing deep and slow. God, help me see you're always caring for me. God, help me see you're always caring for me. Holy Spirit, help me remember my own divine essence, what that feels like deep inside my body. Bring me to a place where I'm eternally free. Breathing deep and slow, into your chest, into your heart, giving your cells a taste of eternity. So if you want now, you could shut the video, pause it, continue your breathing technique, and start to repattern how your body's processing all this, bringing more peace into your body, more of your own divine essence. All right, so I hope that helped. Remember to be safe, be smart, and God bless. Thanks for watching. Oh, and if anyone wants any coaching sessions, I do those over the phone. You could email me at Brett, B-R-E-T-T, @stressisgone.com. And I'm going to be doing some workshops on Ring Central. We're setting that up hopefully today. Okay. God bless.